in Hebrew, Golgotha, Golgotha, where they crucified him, and two others with him, one on either side, and Jesus in the midst. Thus ends the reading of the word. God, we thank you for this day. We ask you to let the words of my mouth and meditations of my heart be acceptable only unto you. In Jesus, you may be seated. If I had to pick a topic for this particular sermon, I would like to use the topic, there's victory in new places.
All right. New places.
Here in the Gospel of John, we learn that in the 17th verse, Jesus was taken to be crucified among two other men, and he was put in the middle. Throughout John chapter 19, we learn that Jesus was scourged. We learn that they crowned him and put a robe on him. And we also learn that Pilate let the people know that he finds no fault in Jesus, but he told them, do what you want with him. It's not my responsibility.
All right.
Come on.
So the people took Jesus and they crucified him, even though they had no real reason to crucify him.
Amen.
Amen.
Sometimes in life, there will be people that do not like us for who we are.
Right.
But we have to realize that everything happens for a reason.
Yes.
The people that don't like you now might be the ones that need you a couple minutes later. But see, what Jesus had to go through was things that most people will never go through in their own minds. But I just want to let somebody know that if you have Jesus inside of you, you're going to go through the exact same thing he went through.
Yes.
Sometimes we get too above ourselves and we say, well, God got me. He ain't going to let that happen. Even though he got you, he going to let it happen to see if you can handle it. Because everything is not just because nobody likes you. Some things are to see whether you can handle what you really about to get.
All right.
You got to be able to handle the test before you can stand up and share the testimony.
Yeah.
You got to be able to sit down and listen before you can stand up and talk.
What? What? Come on here. What?
In chapter
Preach, embassy, preach.
in the gospel, we learn that Jesus was taken. He was about to be crucified, which is one of the highest orders of death back in that time. And we learn that now Jesus is about to be crucified, but he didn't get there just by walking up and saying, give me the cross and put me on it. He got there because he had to go through some stuff. There were some trials, there were some tribulations, there was a little bit of agony, a little bit of pain that held him down. Jesus didn't want to do it, but he did. Jesus doesn't have to do half the things he does, but he does anyway because he knows that there's going to be victory.
There's going to be victory. Come on
And
now.
when you know that there is going to be victory, you have to do things you don't want to do.
Come on.
The first thing that Jesus did was he sat at the table with the same people that was going to do him dirty. Sometimes we got to look our haters in the face and we got to understand that even though you're going to do this, I'm still going to love you. I'm still going to appreciate you. I'm still going to help you out. I'm still going to love
Yes,
you.
Lord.
Because no matter what the enemy brought up against you,
Come on, boy.
he is a liar.
My Lord. You're talking right.
When Jesus looked around the table and he said, you're going to betray me. You're going to betray me.
Yeah.
You're going to betray me. I know both of y'all going to betray me. Y'all going to do it together.
Uh-oh.
But what Jesus realized was that just because they're going to do it, don't mean I'm going to stop.
Uh-huh.
When people get in our way, we have to understand that the plans can be interrupted, but they cannot be terminated. Young people, we have to realize that even though people don't like us and even though everything don't go the way we expect it to, that there will be glory after it.
My God.
The same people that Jesus picked when Jesus chose them, he said, you're going to be my disciple. You're going to be my disciple. You're going to be my disciple. The same people Jesus handpicked, he already knew. He knew what they were going to do before they do it. But what did Jesus do? He stayed. He remained. He stood steadfast. And he did not give up. He did not give in. No matter what Jesus went through, he broke bread with the same people that was going to destroy him. His life meant nothing to them, but their life meant everything to him.
Come on.
Jesus had to break bread and share some of his body with the people that were going to betray him, and he had to share his shedded blood, which he didn't have to shed, with the same people that was going to turn the cup over and pour it out, with the same people that was going to take the bread and feed it to the birds, the same people who was going to leave the table dirty after they got up. But